please me. Touch me, make me feel so irate. So much I'm going crazy.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. In studio, it's Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza Samuel. And usually at this time is where we expect to have commentary from Mr. Kingsley De Freitas. So Kingsley, you can feel free to go right ahead and give us a call at this time as it is your time. All right, so Kingsley is generally on the ball. So if Kingsley hasn't called, it means that he is booked and busy. All right, booked and busy. All right, I feel like I'm going to get extra shine on my face this morning. Internal joke. All righty, so yes, let's head into another topic. Now, we are going to be talking about
Kingsley's friend. We don't have Kingsley, but we have his friend. You want to take the
yeah, sure. Alrighty, I'm feeling it now, boy. Hi, Joshua. Morning.
Good morning. Do I sound like Kingsley to you?
Do you want to sound like Kingsley? Do you want to give us a rant this morning?
You know, now that you mention it, the voice, I can't distinguish between the two. You actually do sound like him.
I love you. I love you, Dianna.
Everybody on this station is friends, all right? Whether y'all agree all the time or not, if you all are friends.
Some of us are friends and some of us are frenemies.
How can we help you today, Joshua?
I have I have no tolerance at all. Zero tolerance for rapists and thieves. Many years ago, I ran afoul of talk radio in St. Vincent when a 40-something-year-old man called the talk show. It's Desiree Richards was on. Desiree, who passed away recently. And he said, you know, there's this girl I love, she, I love she, bad, but I can't have she. When Desiree asked her age, he said she's 16. Man, his testicles fossilized and hung around his neck. And I still feel that way. And talking about thieves, 4 months ago, some unscrupulous scum snatched a $3,000 sentimental pendant that I've been wearing for 40 years from my neck. He stole that. Somebody like that needs to have his hands chopped off without mercy. Because, you know, rape is a serious thing, like you say. I mean, and it traumatizes the individual for the rest of their life. They never get over it. Some of them get through it, but you never get over it. As you rightly said, Roleza, that is taking something from you that cannot be replaced. You cannot unrape somebody. And I've always had a lot of respect for magistrate, for Judge Burnett, and he's constantly in my prayer because he really needs it. And you know, I'm kind of emotional here because I had folks saying to me, "Well, if you won't win the jewelry, he wouldn't steal it from you. It's mine. My wife gave it to me 40 years ago in the shape of St. Vincent's, solid gold." And the area of Mesopotamia where I'm from, there was a diamond, a genuine diamond there. Like I said, 30-something years ago, it was appraised. It had a value of over $3,000, 3,000 US dollars. And that scumbag stole that from me. It cannot be replaced. I would get through it, but I'll never get over it. And my heart goes out to that young lady and to all the others who are the voice, you know, those who have no voice. my heart goes out to them. And I strongly advocate castration, and that person should be put in a cell with some horny prisoners and let him see what it's like to be raped.
Well,
have a great day. And,
Joshua,
yes,
with that,
yes, sorry.
with that last part, I understand where you're coming from, but
well, it's just
Yeah.
my feeling.
Yeah, it's
Like I
okay.
said, I could, the mistake my grandmother made was when she said I would be prime minister. If I was prime minister, well, I don't think I would have survived, because those are some of the things that I would enforce. I would enforce stuff like that. I don't go for this Jesus love you, God forgive stuff. I don't go for that. Anita, we talk later.
All right. Have a good one, Joshua. All right, so that was Joshua just lending his thoughts on the story that we spoke about at 7:20 about the young lady who was raped, and as a result of that rape, what she's currently going through. All right, and Joshua said something that was interesting about wearing jewelry and somebody who robbed him of it. And it just reminded me of a video that I saw recently, well, last night actually, of a gentleman from Trinidad who came to Vincy Mass, and he was wearing his jewelry. And, he was, people making a point of, it's safe here in that he could walk up and down with his jewelry, jump up in Mass, and nobody's studying to rob him. And I mean, the thing of it is that, yes, we generally say that our Vincy Mass is the safest, but I don't think that people should necessarily push the luck, right? Yes, he probably did end up, being able to jump with his gold, etc. Whereas maybe in Trinidad, he could have possibly been robbed of it. It's being stolen from him. But I still think that people need to be a little bit more mindful. And I don't necessarily... Yes, we have a safe carnival, but I don't want for it necessarily to seem as if that things could not possibly happen. All right. So just something to note with regards to that video that is circulating. All right. So just to note as well that coming up at 8:10, we'll be conducting an interview with our 2025 Raga Soca Monaco winner, Mr. Utamo Bonga Prime Rose. All right. So we'll be doing that interview with him at 8:10. And let's head into another topic. We are going to talk about TnT is considering raising the drinking age limit, and should SVG possibly also consider following suit. All right, so reading this from the Trinidad Guardian. So Kamala, do we start off our headlines with Ralph? Ralph, whatever. No. Yeah, I just noticed that it says Kamala raises drinking limit. This is from the Guardian, so it's not even the Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, nothing. It just says Kamala. But anyhow, just a random observation there. So Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, to give her full title, is concerning the legal age for consumption of alcohol to be raised to 21 years. No gambling or smoking of ganja under the age of 25. All right. So a law will be brought to Parliament to raise the legal age of gambling and marijuana use to 25 years and over, and also increase the legal age for alcohol use to 21 years and older. So this is what is up for consideration. Persad-Bissessar announced plans that she raised during the election campaign of the planned increase age to 25 for marijuana use and gambling, and 21 years for alcohol use. She says during the campaign, she repeatedly cited the negative effects of marijuana usage on youth and the havoc gambling addiction and alcoholism can cause, right? And I thought that this was something that's interesting, because many times we have had this discussion, especially, during carnival time or celebratory times, where we see that many young persons are consuming alcohol. We often ask the question of how is it that they're able to obtain alcohol, especially those who are buying it, right? Because you really and truly should be at the legal age. Do persons who sell alcohol even ask for ID? right? So, and we see that there are several consequences or several negative effects of alcohol on a young person. So for those who might just need a refresher, some of you may know, some of you may not know, early alcohol consumption during adolescence can have serious long-term implications on brain development, mental health, and overall physical health. The developing brain is particularly vulnerable to alcohol's effects, potentially leading to cognitive and behavioral problems later in life. And these cognitive and behavioral problems lend to a breakdown in society, not just in terms of, let's say, interpersonal relationships, but also they can have a contributing impact on our crime as well. All right. So some of the things that to note is that there is issues that can be related to mental health, behavioral problems, increased risk of suicide attempts. Some of the physical risks are organ damage, weakened immune system, increased risk of cancer. Some of the long-term effects can be relationship problems, legal issues, social and economic consequences. All right. So this is something that I do think that we should, as a nation, have a serious discussion on if we are looking to protect and preserve our younger minds and the impact that not doing so could have on our society.
You said we have to have some discussions on that. And listen, now is the year to get things done. So now is the perfect time to
because it's the election, yeah?
Yeah, man. Things
so with Seguin proposals.
Everybody with the scholarship getting through, everyone's right. So this is the year to propose things, but we should definitely seriously think about raising the drinking limit. I do agree with Trinidad on this one. I was sort of fascinated by them putting an age limit on the marijuana smoking as well. But I definitely think that we should adopt some of these and have the ID thing. And hopefully our bartenders and our sellers would comply, because we often like to, when certain things are put in place, we don't look at it as a safety measure in trying to protect people. We just think of it as a burden. So I'm hoping that if we do get something like this, persons would definitely comply and they would understand the role that they are playing. You don't have to be drinking alcohol at a very young age. Leave that for when you're older, if that's something that you're going to do, because it's just too early to start, doing all of that. And you just heard Roleza list off the dangers of drinking alcohol. So yeah, government, we do something.
All right, I think one of the other topics that we have to look at in relation to this as well is that many young people get their first taste of alcohol in the homes. And parents may not even realize what it is that they're doing, because sometimes, so you know how I love black cake, right? I love a black cake heavily soaked in rum, right? But even with that, no, I as I keep saying that, I don't really drink. And if I do drink, it's probably like one drink with plenty ice, and that will hold me for the whole night, right? But even, let's say, had it been a case where I'm consuming black cake and it's heavily soaked in rum, could this possibly lead to me having a taste for alcohol? I also know, right? Talking a true story here, that my first taste of alcohol actually was at home, because, the black wine. So Christmas time, you're having black wine. I drink a black wine, right? Poured by my mother. Mommy. All right, no, I can talk this because of the fact that I've turned out okay, right? I'm not an alcoholic or anything, but when you look at it, so even in little subtle ways, sometimes parents, without realizing it, can actually be the introductory element to persons having a love of alcohol. And I think one of the other things that you have to tie in with it is that, so yes, they might be introduced to it at home, and then they go in their peer groups with their friends, and due to peer pressure, they feel as if they have to consume alcohol, and they have to consume alcohol to an extent where, being drunk and disorderly is a flex, right? Is a thing that they should be doing. But we have to take a serious stock of it. Carnival season, we saw videos of people going viral of who was being drunk, who had to be carried by a one drunk friend trying to support the other Somebody held a glass of, well, I guess it had to be alcohol in front of him. He's walking, holding on to the friend hand, but walking towards the person who had the
bottle of rum.
It was a bottle of rum?
I think so, yeah.
Right. And then
Yes,
he let go his friend hand, right? His friend fell. And you know what it is that we may laugh at those type of things. You know, you also have to consider the safety of individuals. Him falling back now, I think he fell back on what looked like a boat or something. Let's say Neil was inside of the boat. Let's say he fell back and he hit his head. His friend was there trying to support him, but none could help the other. You know, so while it is that we may look at these type of situations and we may laugh at it, it really and truly isn't a good look. You see people by the roadside, they're dropping down, they're in drains, they're in gutters. I saw a video, I think up to yesterday, where a man was, he actually urinated in his pants, right? Because he needed to go, I guess, to relieve himself, and he couldn't do what he had to do in time, so he urinated his pants. And, you know, it's when these videos go viral, I often wonder, when persons look back on them, are they ashamed, or do they feel, well, you know, I went viral, so, you know, I'm a quote-unquote minute celebrity. But when you look back on it, to me, it really should be more a case of embarrassment than as opposed to, you know, feeling as if you went viral for something that's quote-unquote good. It, to me, is like, and there's no way I could see a man acting in that way or behaving that way, and me being attracted to this gentleman, no, you know, so... Just some things there for us to think about. And but we do have to have a greater national discussion on it. And it is something that I would welcome, especially the asking of IDs before selling alcohol. And with that, we are heading on out as the time here in SVG.
Well, somebody here is mentioning the rum and raisin ice cream.
The rum
along
and
with
raisin,
the black cake and black wine.
Yeah, I don't find the rum and raisin to be well, maybe it could still be an introduction in a sense, but I don't find it as strong. Maybe I you know, I'm a subtle rum here. I don't know, but
I think eating rum and drinking rum is two different things, you know. So I didn't look at the black cake, neither the rum and raisin, as a start to drinking rum, you know, or drinking alcohol.
You've never had like a really strong black cake?
As an adult, I got one and gave it away because I thought it was too strong.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with that, Dianna. I wouldn't do that now.
You wouldn't give it away now? All right, so let's head out of this segment. Time here in SVG, it is 8:02, and our time check came to you with the compliments of New Haven Funeral Home.